Well, hello, this is Jeff Gaudiosi, and you're on misplacedstraws.com where music comes to life. And my guest today is best known as the founding guitarist of iconic rockers Tesla. But he's here today because he recently released a new solo record called Reflections, and it's just one of the most heartbreakingly beautiful guitar records I've ever heard. I'm so
Thank
happy to have him on here to talk about it. Please welcome Frank Hannon. Welcome, Frank.
Hey, wow, thank you for the introduction, Jeff. I am coming at you live from Las Vegas. There we are. There's
Nice.
my view from the hotel room. I'm currently on the road with Tesla in Las Vegas, but yeah, my new solo album is a guitar, all guitar instrumental album that really speaks with the guitar from my heart. And so I appreciate your comments on that intro, man. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And I think in order to understand what this record is, I think we need to understand how it started. So, talk a little bit about kind of the events in your life that led to Reflections.
Well, um, the year 2024, last year,
Mhm.
on a personal level, was a very, very tough year. We dealt, and we had moved from our home and lived out of state in Florida for a couple years, and we had I had a few friends pass away, and then my wife's dad passed away, and then we were dealt with some hurricanes, three in a row, and one of them was on the news coming straight for us. It was going to flood out our whole property, and we had some animals there. So we had a trailer, and it was kind of like Noah's Ark, man. We put all the animals, four dogs, two cats,
Mhm.
three horses, and one of them was sick, and we got in that trailer and we drove for a month. It took us to get from Florida to California, and it was a tough experience. So by the time we got home, it was November, and my wife and I were just like, oh, wow, we made it home. And I just started to relax. I just started playing my guitar and coming up with some songs that were different than anything I had written or recorded before. And they were very real from my heart. And I discovered this very cool microphone. It's called Audigo. Um, it's this little stereo microphone, and it attaches Wi-Fi to your cell phone. And I was using this to record these ideas that I had that were coming to me from that experience I was just sharing with you. And it sounded really good. And I was playing it for some of my friends, and they were like, wow, Frank, wow, man, this guitar playing is different. And I'm really feeling that. People were feeling it,
Mhm.
what I was feeling. And so I just kept at it, and next thing you know, I had 12 songs. And the great thing about this thing here, this Audigo microphone, is you can take it anywhere.
Mhm.
So I started recording out in my backyard. I was recording in my bedroom. I took it on a cruise ship,
Mhm.
and I recorded, just miking
Yeah.
this little battery guitar amp here
Mhm.
and putting this in front of it and playing my guitar. And
Nice.
I I could mix it and record it and overdub in my cell phone,
Mhm.
and I would immediately text it to people, friends that I trusted, my cousin
Yeah.
Mike who plays guitar, my wife, a couple of friends I have in Nashville, and they were all going, "Wow, that sounds really good. We can't believe you're recording that on your cell phone."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's just really coming out very naturally." And so that's how the record was made.
Yeah, that's incredible. And as you mentioned, on each of these songs, it's just you. There's no other instrumentation. You lay down a rhythm track and then you put a lead over it. And there's a real vulnerability to that, to being out there on your own, as opposed to what you usually do with Tesla with all that behind you. Is it? refreshing, scary, whatever the word might be as an artist to kind of step away from that big production and just play to your emotions without everyone else around you?
Yeah, it was definitely refreshing in a sense of the reactions that I was getting from my friends that I trusted their opinion. And when they would hear it, it was encouraging. I wasn't afraid. I didn't experience any fear about it because I wasn't planning on releasing it, to be
Mm,
honest. I was having fun with this looper pedal here.
mm,
And, I want to recommend these things to any musicians or guitar players. This Audigo thing I've been talking
yeah.
about for convenience, and also a looper pedal is a great tool for a guitar player if you have an idea and you can just record it instantly on the looper pedal and then play along to it.
Mhm.
Um, and with this Audigo thing, you can overdub. On my album, I overdubbed some bass. I would color it up to make it
Yeah.
sound um, good. And I've done a lot of solo albums over the years, but with this one, it's different because I'm not trying to sing. I'm
Mhm.
not trying to write words. Not trying to do anything really. That
Yeah.
was the beauty of it. I wasn't really even trying. I was just coming up with an idea. Like, is this working?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear.
It would help if it was in tune. Sometimes Zoom will cut this guitar off. So if you can hear it, that's good.
Yeah, no, I could definitely pick it up.
So I would come up with these ideas with some chord changes, using minor, major. I'd come up with an idea that I was feeling, and I would play it with the looper,
Mhm.
and then instead of trying to sing with my voice and write words and all that, I was more into letting the guitar do the singing.
Mhm.
Doing phrases with the guitar. And it felt so natural, and I was able to express some emotion more than using words. For
Right.
example, when I go to this chord, I do. I do this.
Mhm.
And that little phrase to me is like it's almost telling you something.
Eh,
Like, I want to tell you a
mhm.
story. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was fun. I started stumbling on that type of playing
Mhm.
as opposed to the stuff that we're
Yeah.
all of us
Yeah.
guitar players are so guilty of,
Yeah. Mm,
overplaying,
yeah.
And I've been guilty of that a lot in my career. But as opposed to doing that,
Mm,
I was really getting into
mm.
phrasing
Yeah.
and singing with the guitar and
Mm,
telling my story with the guitar rather than trying to tell it with my voice.
mm.
So anyway, that's the philosophy behind this record.
And there's also, though, a great juxtaposition in the record because for all of the kind of emotional tracks like that, like Our Father's Love and Poncho and Into the Blue, This Is Goodbye, you also have the fun, uplifting side of it, like Plank Spankin' and Monkey Kitty. When you're writing, are you doing both of those, or are you thinking like, okay, we need to add something in to kind of break it up and give it that lift and flow?
Yes, the
Mm,
answer is yes.
yeah,
When you get to a point to where you've got a batch of songs that
mm,
you've recorded and you're listening
mm,
back to them, and then when I did make the decision, well, I am going to go ahead and put this together as an album, a full-length
mhm,
album. Then I would listen to it in an entirety, and if I felt that it was missing um, more fun, upbeat. I try to keep balance in there. I didn't
Right.
want it to be a total
Mhm.
sleeper, you
Yeah.
know. So I had some ideas that were more upbeat, and I did want to add those to the mix.
Mm.
Monkey Kitty being one in
Yeah.
particular, and to keep it in line with the record, even though it sounds very different than the rest of it, um, I wanted to pay tribute to my father-in-law, Dickie Betts, there, and since it was a very personal, intimate, personal record,
Mm.
I wanted to share a little thing that Dickie showed me on the guitar. Ironically, in Las Vegas, when I first met him in 2001, we flew out here, and my wife and I, when I first started dating her, we visited with Dickie. He was here in Vegas, and we flew down and we spent a week here hanging out with him in a hotel room, and we were passing the guitar around in the hotel room, and we were drinking wine, and we were having a great time, like at 3 in the afternoon. And he had a gig that night, and Dickie was such a great guy, great character, and he and I always hit it off really well. You know, I think he knew that I was going to take good care of his daughter, and so he and I were buds right from the start. So anyway, um, the song "Monkey Kitty" on my Reflections album, it came about because I wanted to put an upbeat song on the record, but I also wanted to share a little Dickie influence on there. And there's a lick that's on there. It goes. I'm trying to play it with a nickel because I don't have a pick. So there's a nickel. It goes. The lick goes like this. So we're jamming in the hotel room, and we're trading the guitar licks, and we're playing this thing like a. And then Dickie goes, and I was like, "Wow, will you show me how to play that?" And so he played it really slow for me, and that's the
Yeah.
trick right there. He
Yeah.
played these two weird notes together. Sounds so weird, right? But you put it together. So Dickie taught me
Yeah.
that lick. Now fast forward 24 years, and I'm making my
Mhm.
Reflections album, and I'm playing a song that I'm writing for my kitty cat,
Mhm.
who's always climbing on me, Monkey Kitty. And it's a song that's, I was like, man, I'm gonna put Dickie's little guitar lick in there. So I did. I added that in
Yeah.
there, and that's on the record. And that was one of the last songs I made
Mhm.
for this album, and it's called Monkey
Yeah.
Kitty.
And I gotta say, I got a stack of picks here. I'll just flip them across the country over to
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I catch it.
you. And now let's go back a bit. You've talked in the past about how your childhood was very influenced by country and western music. Johnny Cash, John Denver, and
Yeah.
Tesla on its face isn't that. But I think that influence in your playing is always what set that band apart from your peers. How and when did you begin to merge kind of the music you grew up with the music that the band ended up making?
Well, even if you a song like "Getting Better," you
Mhm.
know, I'm playing this kind of a
Mhm.
just some
Yeah.
twangy kind of. It's a
Yeah.
Telecaster that I'm using on that, and Tesla. It was five guys. Is a
Mhm.
band of each guy has his own element to
Mhm.
it, and Tommy was always the metal guy, and I used to love metal too. I mean,
Yeah.
the '80s, we all loved heavy
Mhm.
metal. Brian is the Beatles guy. Jeff Keith is like the Mick Jagger, Steven
Mhm.
Tyler
Yeah.
guy, and I was more like the color guy with
Mhm.
acoustic and the
Mhm.
twangy country
Mhm.
twists in there. But it goes back to our first album. If you listen to the song "Modern Day Cowboy," it's a whole smorgasbord pizza of those elements of the
Yeah.
five guys. The verses, I'm playing acoustic guitar, and then we've got the metal riffs in there that we put together. So the diversity has always been there with Tesla. And if you fast forward to like What You Give or Love Song,
Mm,
the acoustic guitar, I've always put that element into our
mm,
sound. And I appreciate what you're saying. I think it did separate Tesla a little bit from being a glam,
mm.
one-dimensional Hollywood sounding kind of band because we weren't from LA.
Right.
We weren't from Hollywood. We were from up north,
Mm,
up of Northern California. I call it the San Francisco sound. Those influences on me, like Creedence Clearwater
mhm,
Revival, big San Francisco band from the Bay Area. You know, Santana, Jefferson Airplane. Those are early experiences, early influences that influenced us. And plus, we were based out of Sacramento, so we weren't really stylized as a
yeah.
glam band.
Mm. And it's been now 7 years since Tesla put out a full record, but you guys have done a handful of singles. Do you see the band doing a full record, or do you sort of like this kind of new way of doing things where a band can write, record, and release a song without having to wait for a record to come together?
Well, with Tesla, I really do like the ability to create a song independently and put it out as we do it. At our point of our career that we're at now, after 40 years and being older guys, and it's it doesn't make sense to try to fabricate 10 songs in just to put all 10 songs out on one record. It makes more sense for us to work on a song and enjoy the process and let it develop, and then when it's ready, put it out one song at a time. Seems to work better for writing with Tesla.
Mhm.
But the one thing that we are enjoying a lot is digging into our influences and songs that Jeff Keith can really get into singing, and we're experimenting with some old soul tunes, some old cover songs. Maybe some James Brown or maybe some Temptations. Some different kind of things like that. We're at a point now. Tesla's at a point now where we want to enjoy our career and have fun and create stuff, and experiment with some stuff like that. That's a lot of fun.
Mhm.
The notion of like trying to go in lockdown mode for a year and like hammer out 10 songs that will be just fabricated. That doesn't sound like fun to us, really. I
Mhm.
don't think.
Mhm. And I think that makes sense too from a fan perspective because, I mean, we've all been there at shows from our favorite bands where a new record's out and maybe they'll play one song from it because you have this whole catalog of stuff we need to hear. So I
Right.
think putting out that one song and okay, we're going to get that song in the set, we're going to hear it. It, you know, I would think as an artist, at least that song has a life as opposed to the other nine on the record that nobody will ever get to hear live.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And I don't think most people don't realize the amount of work
Mm,
and lockdown it would take to create 9 or 10 songs. It's back when we were in our 20s, that was different, man. That was a different time in our lives. So the amount of work it takes to create a full 10-song album, and then when you play your show with a band like Tesla, who's got 40 years of songs that we've got to play in our show in 90 minutes, like you said, we're not going to even be allowed to play any of these
yeah.
new songs. So it makes much more sense to have fun and create one great new song like our latest one, All About Love. We're
Yeah.
so proud of it. It's really great, and the fans are loving it. Before that, we did one called Time to Rock, and we were really proud of that one. And it was fun, and we throw that one song in the show, and then people still get to hear Little Susie and Signs and Modern Day Cowboy and Changes and all the other ones. So that is basically it. When a band gets to this point of their career, that's usually really what works best.
And you guys are always on the road. You already got dates into next year, including a return trip here to Connecticut. Do you see yourself being able to do any solo shows for Reflections? And if so, would you do it with just you or would you put a band together?
No, the way this record is made is just me, and I have done 4 solo shows. In September, I did Daryl's house in upstate New York,
Mhm.
Daryl Hall,
Great
and
venue.
it was a great show, great venue. And what I've done is I've taken my Reflections music and off of my vinyl album, and I've created the backing tracks into an iPad. And I go on the road and I plug my iPad directly into my guitar amp and I play my music along with some other guitar based songs that I do, like Ghost Riders in the Sky, stuff that fits the sound of Reflections. I do Hot Rod Lincoln,
Mhm.
and I do some other rockabilly stuff, and I'm going to add more to it. I'm going to do a few shows here and there, but like you said, Tesla is still so very busy, and it's very hard to juggle personal life with band life and touring life and all of that stuff. So, but I will be doing more Reflections guitar shows. Hopefully, like in music stores,
Yeah.
maybe, going to like a guitar shop and performing for guitar players and performing guitar-based things by myself with my backing tracks and talking about some of the guitar stuff that I've been talking about in this interview, which is my my passion now for guitar playing as a solo artist is to sing with the guitar, like and playing songs that have that direction in a guitar clinic setting and talking about melody and phrasing, which is really what I love the most about music and guitar playing at my age now. Reflections album is all about that.
That's fantastic. Can't wait to catch more of that. Well,
Thank you.
we've been spending some time here with Frank Hannon. The record is called Reflections. I cannot recommend it enough. It's just as soon as I heard it, it grabbed me, and I just
Thank you
encourage
very much.
everyone to take a listen. It's out everywhere now. There's physical copies. It's streaming everywhere. Frank, just thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me, Jeff. I appreciate it. And yeah, people can go to my frankhannon.com. It's Hannon. It's not Hannah. It's Hannah with an N on it. Frankhannon.com. And I did a really cool show on Talk Shop Live, and they're selling my record for me. And it's a limited run. We made 500 pieces of it, and they're autographed. You can get a picture autographed on my website of the Reflections album. And thanks for having me on your show. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. We'll do it again soon. Yeah. Bye for now.
Hey, do you want me to do anything? Want me to